What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Intergalactic Brew. Um, just want to do a little video right quick, give y'all a little update on my impression of the first week of NFL Preseason. Um, of course, y'all know I did my recap of the Falcons and Ravens, so I got that out of the way. But this video, I want to touch on some games that I've seen uh, since then, like these past couple of days, and I really wanted to just acknowledge some teams that have really impressed me. A lot of teams that, some teams that I respect. So, yeah, I'm over here actually checking out the Jacksonville Jaguars New York Giants preseason, and I gotta say, man, the Jaguars look pretty darn good. I mean, I know that's kind of shocking, somebody even saying that the Jaguars look good, but they do, man. I mean, both offensively and defensively, they look pretty darn good. I mean, yeah, they've made some mistakes too. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, like, look at that right there. A Jaguars defender just made a tackle on special teams and made the return guy fumble, and now Jacksonville has the ball back. See what I'm talking about? Like, AFC, y'all better look out this year, man. Jacksonville is gonna creep up on some people. I think they're gonna be the Detroit Lions of the AFC this year. Cause from what I've seen so far in this game, they look real in tune, man. They look crisp. Blaine Gabbert looks good. He's been able to find his receivers. The offensive line has gotten better. It seems like they're gonna have a good receiving core this year. You know what? Cecil Shorts is coming back. They have Mercedes Lewis. They've got, of course, Justin Blackman, their first round draft pick. But I want to touch on somebody that just completely caught my attention, and I'm listening to the commentators, and they've just been praising him all game long, and that is a rookie that's trying to make the roster by the name of Brian Robiskie. Now, this is very interesting to me because I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but if you're a true diehard Falcons fan, like you say that you are, you would know that our wide receivers coach goes by the name of Terry Robiskie. And Brian Robiskie just so happens to be his son, which I just found out. But just from looking at his play, I can see why he's so good. I mean, Terry Robiskie, our wide receivers coach, he breeded a nice player in Brian, because that guy's been all over the field. I mean, just catching passes to keep the chains moving. Scored a touchdown late, or in the middle of the first half. Scored a beautiful touchdown. So yeah, man. Brian Robiskie is going to be a name to look out for as far as the Jaguars roster is concerned. I've been really impressed with him. Also, the running backs, I've been impressed with too. The Rashad, what was his name? I forget. I think it was Rashad Moore or something like that. I don't know. I guess he's going to try to play for that backup spot behind MJD whenever he returns from his holdout. But I've really been impressed with him. And they've had another young player that was a running back. I forget his name. He had a nice run for a touchdown. So, yeah, man. The Jaguars are tearing it up right now. They're really doing their thing. If I was the, what are they, the AFC South? If I was the AFC South, man, I would have eyes in the back of my head, man, because the Jaguars, they gonna shake some things up in that division, let alone in that conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're hanging with the New York Giants now, these are the world champions. I mean, I know this is preseason and everything, but hear me out, people. If the Jaguars are over here keeping up with the New York Giants now, the world champions, I know this is not a big deal, and I know, this probably doesn't mean anything. But this is a pretty darn good impression to hang with the world champs in preseason early. If that's any indication of what's to come this season, the Jaguars are going to make some noise. Now, I'm not trying to, hype them up. I'm not saying, that they're going to beat the elite teams in the AFC. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're just going to be one of those young teams that's going to be on the rise, and that's going to maybe pull off some upsets, possibly, in the regular season. So, I'm just saying. Everybody's talking about the Bengals and, the Buffalo Bills and everything. And, yeah, the Bengals, they look good, too. I saw the Jets game last night. They look really, really good. I think they're going to be a real force in the AFC this year. I really think so. Give them their credit. I know as a Falcons fan, they're not better than my team. I know that much. They're not better than Atlanta. But like I say, in all due respect to them, they are a team that's up and coming in the AFC, and I think them along with the Jaguars, like I said, and I really haven't got a chance to really see too much of what the Buffalo Bills could do. I caught a portion of their game against the Redskins yesterday, so I'm really not sure on the Bills, but definitely what I saw from the Bengals and what I'm seeing from the Jaguars here, those are going to be two of the most watched teams this year, And like I was saying about Blaine Gabbert, Blaine Gabbert looked awesome that first half. I mean, it seems like, he was just in the flow of the game. He was, like I said, hitting on all cylinders, so to speak, with his receivers. He was accurate. He didn't look nervous or anything like he did last year. So, yeah, man. That offense looked great, and that offensive line, like I said, has greatly improved. When I was talking about the young player that made the rush for the touchdown, the offensive line opened up a really nice gap for him. So yeah, man, this Jaguars team, they look great. They seem like they're gonna have a really good season this year, and they're gonna win some ball games. You know what I mean? For real. But I mean, at the same time with the Giants, the Giants have looked good too. They made some big plays on defense. Offense, I don't really know. They really didn't do too much. I mean, yeah, they scored a couple of touchdowns, but the offense has really not, been as impressive in my opinion as the defense was. But like I said, the Giants did do some positive things. As much as I can't stand the Giants, in all due respect, as a football fan, I do give them credit for what they're doing. But yeah, the defense has looked sharp. I really think that their defense is really going to be better, a lot better this year than they were last year. Hopefully well, I ain't gonna say hopefully because they're not my team, but for their sake, I hope their secondary steps up this year. Because let's be honest, the Giants secondary was average last year, probably even mediocre, dare say. You know what I mean? And I know that may piss a lot of Giants fans off, but I'm just being real. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But like I said, the Giants have done some good things too. They got off to a hot start in the first half, but like I said, the Jaguars have made a humongous comeback, and it's like really, really tight right now in the game. So the Jaguars could possibly pull it off, and give like an early indication to the world champs, like, hey, if you meet us in the regular season, it's on, for real. But yeah, man. like I said, I just wanted to acknowledge the Jaguars, for looking spectacular so far. You know what I mean? You know, seems like Mike Mularkey has really come up with a good scheme that everybody can grasp to and can understand. So yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. And speaking of Mike Mularkey, man, kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? Even though I still have my feelings about him here in Atlanta, I feel like he could have done more with us here in Atlanta. But still, for what he's doing so far with this Jacksonville Jaguars team, um, you know, he's gonna be good for them. I believe he's gonna be good for them. They're a young team. He's not gonna throw nothing too complicated their way. Like I said, he's gonna put in a system where they can understand it and can grasp a hold of it early. So yeah, man. But like I said, Jacksonville, looked awesome, or is looking awesome right now because the game is not over. I mean, it's in the fourth quarter right now, and like I said, it's real tight. But Jacksonville looks good. But so does New York, though. I have to give them their credit too. So both teams are really out there, showing what they got. As far as the preseason is concerned. The rookies. It seems like both rookies are really playing to the best of their ability and trying to make a roster, or make the roster, I should say. But aside from this game, going back to last night's game with the Bengals and the Jets. Tim Tebow did fairly well. He did throw an interception, as you all saw, to who was that? Nate Clemens, I think, caught that interception. But yeah, Tebow looked like Tebow last night. I mean, he had some pretty good throws to receivers. Did a little bit of scrambling out of the pocket. Getting some big yardage and all that stuff, and he was just basically being Tim Tebow. Mark Sanchez, on the other hand, to be honest, wasn't so impressed with him. He got sacked a couple of times. He had overthrew some receivers, but then again, at the same time, a lot of the receivers that he threw to had dropped passes and stuff. So that kind of concerns me about Mark Sanchez. I'm not gonna lie. I have respect for Mark Sanchez. I actually like him. He's a pretty darn good player. He has his moments where he can be that quote unquote guy, as they like to say in pro football. But yeah, for the most part, it was really Tim Tebow. I got to give it to him. He looked pretty darn good. Minus that one interception, and I think he did get sacked maybe one time in the game, but for the most part, Tim Tebow looked good. So Mark Sanchez, has got to he's got to bring it. If he's going to prove to be the number one QB on this team, he's got to bring it. Because Tim Tebow he's hungry. And he's showing that he could possibly even have the capability of jumping ahead of Sanchez. And also, Tim Tebow showed some really good stuff on special teams too, with his blocking and everything. So that was good to see also. As far as the defense goes for the Jets, the defense looked pretty good. They made some good plays. They got a couple of sacks. They broke up some passes, put a lot of pressed a lot on the receivers, and they did some things well. I still think they need to work on their pass rush a little bit more, because they barely got to the QB. So yeah, they do need to work on that. But for the most part, both teams look to be in pretty good shape. Although I think the Bengals look better than the Jets last night. I'm just going to be honest. The Bengals, at least their second string, their second string team, or whatever you want to call it, their second team. they they got some work to do. They got some work to do. But the first team though, first team looked pretty damn good. I'll give them credit. But they got owned when it was all said and done. Like, you know, they got owned by the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals were just all over the place, just making play after play, offensively and defensively. Even though the Bengals didn't score as many touchdowns, I mean, they still look very good. They look I mean, you know, they look better than the Jets. They did. You know, the Jets have some more work to do. You know, I think the thing with the Jets is they need to just crush all the egos and, you know, swallow their pride and, you know, forget about who's not getting paid more than the other and all that other business, and, you know, just focus on, you know, making the team better. Because when it's all said and done, that's really what it's about, making the team better and, you know, winning enough games to win in the playoffs and going to the Super Bowl. So that's really what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So I think once the Jets get that message glued in their mind, I think they'll be a better off team. So there you go. So yeah, like I said, Tim Tebow made an impression. First preseason game. Mark Sanchez needs to play better. The second team and the rookies, offensively and defensively, need to play better. There are some things that the Bengals can improve on too, but to be honest, like they played close to perfect last night. They did. They played close to perfect, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much my whole assessment of that game. What's another game? Oh yeah, Pittsburgh and Philly. That was a good one. That game was highly competitive. Both teams look well. They really do. They really shined the other night with their game. You know, Vic looked good. What's this new backup quarterback they just brought in? Trent Edwards. I've heard of his name before. His name sounded very, very familiar. I think he used to play with the Raiders before he came to the Eagles. I don't know. I mean, y'all correct me. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, he did some really good things. Actually, you know, he was actually the QB that actually kept the offense on the field for a good amount of time. You know, I don't even think the Pittsburgh defense even got off the field. Like, he was constantly like moving the ball, and you know they were just getting on downfield at will. It seemed. So yeah, the Philly offense, they look great. They did. I got to give them their credit. I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles either, but you know, they look great. They did. They really did. I got to give it to them. The defense looked great. You know, they were making plays, hitting people, sacking people, blitzing. You know, the usual that Philadelphia is known for. So yeah, man, they look really good. But Pittsburgh did too. I mean, you know, Ben Roethlisberger came out like a house of fire, just connecting with everybody. I mean, basically throwing to anything that moved or anybody. You know, what can you say about the Pittsburgh defense, man? I mean, that's they are who they are, man. You know, they always gonna show out. You know, that's just that's just their nature. You know what I'm saying? Just to show out. So yeah, both teams look good, man. Like I said, it was a highly competitive game. It really came down to a field goal. So yeah, I think both of those teams look ready. Both of those teams look ready. I really think so. I really think Philadelphia and Pittsburgh look ready. I'm just being honest, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So that was a nice game. That was a nice game. Let's see. San Francisco and Minnesota. San Francisco, they look ready, pretty much. I mean, of course, you know, Jim Harbaugh is going to always have those guys fired up. I was really impressed with Colin Kaepernick, the backup quarterback. He came in and did his thing. Actually, this game really was all about the quarterbacks, if you ask me. You know, Colin Kaepernick, and I think the other guy's name was Josh Thompson or Thomas or something. I think he was a backup in Tampa Bay, and he recently came over to San Francisco. So yeah, he looked good. But like I said, you know, San Francisco looks ready. On both sides. You know, they play really well. Minnesota did too. I mean, even though they didn't do as good of things as San Francisco did, to be fair, but they had their moments too. You know, Christian Ponder, you know, he's still learning the NFL style of football. So you kind of got to give him a break on that. You know, he's just coming off, you know, his rookie season. So he's still going through the motions, so to speak. So I think as time goes on, he'll get better. But yeah, one thing I do want to say, the Minnesota defense actually looked pretty good too. Because there was one play, I think, where I think it was one of the QBs had tried to throw it towards the end zone, and I think one Minnesota defender came and broke the pass up. So, you know, the Minnesota defense, they did some things pretty well. They made some good tackles and stuff like that. So, I think just with these younger players drafted to the team, I think they're going to be good. I really think so. With Robert Blanton and Harrison Smith, and you know, they still got guys like Antoine Winfield and Jared Allen, and all these guys. Look at Jacksonville, man. Look at Jacksonville, man. They, man, I tell you, boy. I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all can say what you want about Jacksonville, but I'm telling you, with the new head coach and the new coaching staff, this team is gonna make some noise, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, all y'all that been hating on Jacksonville, and trust me, I was one of them. I was one of the main ones that said Jacksonville ain't gonna do shit. Ain't gonna do shit. Ain't gonna do shit. Okay, I was one of those people that said that, but seeing what they're doing today against the world champs, like I said, this has no indication of what's going to happen in the regular season. Let me stress that one more time. This has no indication, okay? But they're tearing it up right now. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Man. And they just took the lead, y'all. Anyway, dang, I'm kind of going over on this video. But anyway, that's really my whole assessment of the first week of preseason. But I'm going to be making a lot more videos like this in the future. So y'all stay tuned, man. Damn, I done gone over too long. But anyway, y'all comment. Y'all tell me who y'all think has impressed y'all so much, so far, I should say, during the first week of preseason. Whether it be, you know, the Falcons, the Ravens, Bengals, Jaguars, Giants, Jets, whoever. You know, just tell me who you think has made the best impression on you, and just let me know. Like I said, I apologize that the video was kind of long. I was, you know, watching the game and trying to do this too. So y'all please forgive me for this. But anyway, I'm on Scoot. Y'all be cool. Enjoy the rest of preseason, and I'll get back at y'all next week, probably. Deuce.